Hello, everybody. How are we all doing today? It's been a while. It's been a good hot minute.
No, it hasn't. What are you on about? Why are you lying?
Ah,
Scott, stop doing it. You're president.
okay, my apologies.
Got it in there in the first 10 seconds.
I'm. It's been a cold minute. A very cold minute. I'm cold.
Wow, and now you're making
No, it
fun
has
of the
not.
Australians who are suffering from bushfires over their country. Scott.
Oh Jesus! I'm warning you guys. Both Naga and Steve.
Yeah, I know. Let's just keep talking about stuff not related to the session because there's some.
So
I
listen,
regret not having chat open right now.
I have to warn you guys in advance that my
Abusive Naga has played the trump card.
Uh-oh.
Let me just look at Jake's face. Let me just read you the blurb on the trump card, okay?
Excuse me, how could you read it?
When you play the trump card, you're choosing to ruin the PC's day. This is a full stop interrupt that will cause something terrible to happen to the party. The DM has full say as to what will happen, and what this is, and how it plays out. But lean in, because Jake's going to quit.
It does say that.
It does say that.
Yeah,
it's been adjusted.
Lean in.
I've been back
totally an
3 minutes.
Yeah.
3 minutes I've been back.
Guys,
better
there is
Jake is
another
back.
campaign in Aurorum. There is another campaign in Aurorum. Show them some love.
No.
They need
dropped,
this.
No, Jake. They dropped one curse, and Tyler was going bananas last session.
I seen it, and I'm
Man, he needs to see what happens in this fucking chat.
Jake was sitting there
I'm muting myself now. You can have fun for half an hour. I pulled my back. I'm sitting in a chair with no support for this shit Naga, and you know what? I'm done.
So go and get a sweater because you're not wearing them this time of year. Roll it up and put it down for some lumbar. You know what I'm saying? You know.
I have a pillow.
Oh, okay. The way he said, I have a pillow.
He's upset. Someone's just chosen to ruin the PC's day. Can I just point out that this is the beginning of the day?
I haven't even made the statements that I was going to say.
Like you were like, right, okay, and it was dropped. Like there was a full stop interrupt, but like nothing was interrupted. It was just like, right, we're just going to go ahead and establish you guys are going to have a bad session.
So, sorry, Tesh, did you say that you needed to go somewhere? What? We had to cancel the session? Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, actually.
Yeah, that steak sandwich, he's got to go collect it.
Yeah. All right. Back on track. So, two things which are off track. One, in case you don't watch Maggie's show on Monday night, I hate cats. The entire species should be murdered. But since it hasn't been done yet, my microphone got broken. So my sound is all off for me. So if things sound different, if they don't sound as good to you guys in chat, please let me know because I'm having a much harder time kind of figuring that out because mine is completely off. If I sound loud, if I sound like I'm shouting, again, give me a heads up so I can adjust that because everything's off. It'll be correct in like 3 weeks or so, but for now, I just have to deal with the fact that a cat broke the mic. And then two, my wife is the best at scheduling things. So I have a painter showing up to paint a room very soon. It's going to be interesting.
Scott's got the painters in.
I don't know what that means. So very soon I will have to go upstairs and invite the person in. They will then be painting maybe 25 feet from here. I hope he has headphones. Otherwise, it's going to be really awkward. Right?
That is going to be really awkward.
Like, so what are you doing down there?
Oh yeah, I'm just playing Dungeons and Dragons in my basement. And he's like, "You're the husband, right?" Oh yeah.
Yep. Well, it's funny because I haven't met him yet either. Like my wife 100% handled everything, planning it out, the colors, and got the guy scheduled. And he's like, "Oh, I'll be there tomorrow." And I'm like, "Tomorrow? Not Thursday?
That is actually a nice change, us being louder than Scott, because usually every show you watch where Scott's the DM, he's just obnoxiously loud compared to everyone else.
What are you talking about, Neil?
And like when he
Holy
inevitably
Jesus.
at some point screeches down the mic at us, you won't be like, oh god, and have to take your headphones off. Really, the cat did us all a favor. So we should show our appreciation and drop bits for the cat. Because then Scott, if they're dropped in the name of the cat, he has to get the cat a treat.
Or a sound thing. What's that called? So my mic doesn't peak anymore. A sound. Listen, Mike, Wade, and Pat, I'm on Wednesday nights with, and they all have the same exact sound thing. What's that sound thing called? The XLR, whatever it's called. They all have the same exact one, and now I'm like, it's like peer pressure. I want one.
You mean the fluff that covers the mic?
No, it's like a $495 piece of equipment.
Is it a circle with mesh?
No, it's like I press a button and my voice now becomes different.
Oh, that's weird.
Or like if I scream or if I whisper, it comes in the same volume as you, to you guys.
Like the Go XLR or something.
Yeah, like that thing. Soundboard.
Oh god, I've experienced Wade with that thing. Don't get a soundboard.
Stop, Scott.
Yeah.
I'm aware. All right. So, anyways,
I have experienced this.
we haven't played in a few weeks, so obviously we're a little bit detracted. Get a soundboard. He says, get a soundboard.
Sorry, Scott. I'm just busy reporting you on Twitch for hate against cats.
That's okay. They're not a real thing. Cats are not a protected class in any country. Any country that matters.
What about America? The fat cats.
Did you see what happened to the last streamer that decided to disrespect
you don't
the
mess
cat
with
on
cats.
stream?
You don't disrespect cats.
What happened?
That didn't.
They got
not end
banned.
well for them.
Well, now I need the
They
story.
they like yeeted a cat.
Yeah, I was about. Milo, whoop.
Like threw it.
Like
Threw
over
it.
their head.
Like,
It was fine,
proper threw
obviously,
it.
because
throw
it's
mine.
cat.
I throw mine all the time, but there's like
Don't.
there's like a spot here for it to land on that I throw it on this cushy spot, and this is a desk right here. So I also just put it more or less. I'm transferring you 1.5 feet onto an equal surface.
Oh, well, a cat transfer is fine, you know. That's
Yeah,
gotta
no,
happen.
this
That's
wasn't
like
a cat
bank
transfer. This is I'm in a game. Cat walks over keyboard. They yell, Milo, just woof.
I would totally do that. Bye. You have reflexes.
But it's
That
also
does
like
not-
imagine how heavy that is. Not physically, but mentally, knowing that you're throwing away all that hard work you put in on Twitch all those years. You just
Yeah.
bye bye.
Oh, did his career end?
It got banned. Scott's
So
already said
last
this
time
live
on
on
Dungeons and
Twitch.
Dragons. Now I need to do it on a different channel with a beard, with shave my beard off, so you don't know it's me. Hi guys, I'm Larry, the beardless guy. So what we're saying? Last time on Dungeons and Dragons, oh man, if you're watching on YouTube, you're like, shut up and play. I already know what happened.
Literally, it's just like half an hour of us just chatting bullshit at this point.
We missed Tesh, and it's a nice moment to actually hang out with our buddy. And Jake's quiet, which is really nice. So,
He's never quiet. He never silently seethes.
Oh my god.
Last time
This is how everyone dies.
on this session, war happened. Let's actually pull up the map for everybody so we can properly
God.
see. This thing's being wonky. I was waiting for a phone call to go upstairs.
Tash doesn't actually know everything that's happened, so watch his face during certain parts of this read. You know which part I'm talking about. The X gonna give it to you part, but watch his face.
Now I'm worried.
Where's Firefox? There you are. That took a minute. All right. And we go over to the map. Bam. We're gonna come over here. All right.
Just letting you know, Naga, that I considered you a great friend until today.
That's not true. That's not true. You always say mean things to Naga.
They're like built from love, though.
Okay. It's like, I don't know. I was trying to think of an example, but I decided none of the examples I want to say are examples that I think are appropriate to say. So
Scott's like about to say like, oh yeah, it's like when me and my wife. Oh, don't say that on Twitch.
Speaking of eating, no. So there's a Y in there. There's a Y. There's a Y. So
oh no.
Doesn't make it better, Scott. I hate to say.
It's been too long since we played.
Jesus.
Speaking of, oh Jesus, Steve. So what happened last time? Actually, Neil, do you want to remind Tesha what happened with the war up until that last scene and what Jake described that last scene in slow?
Oh God, yeah, I can try.
Yeah. Well, the army's
Okay.
marching against the free folk in Rid. He was there for that.
Yeah, I if I remember, I chased after the last thing I remember is I chased after the leader.
Correct.
Guy.
And they continued to chase him down the next session with you actually stayed back to watch over the armies while Jake chased him down with a couple of soldiers. So
right, no, so Scott's already confused. So it wasn't the free folk. You're wrong.
oh,
Yeah,
wasn't
no.
the free folk? You guys
Right,
said it meant the free folk.
Scott, you
Yeah.
old man brain's gone now.
Oh my
Right,
God, you weren't
okay.
there for the free folk. I forgot about that.
No.
Nope.
Okay, so let's see. So Vrogar's army and the riders of Wherein fought at Reed, and they fought off Belterin and an army of soldiers there. We defeated Belterin and his army, and he fled. One pursued with a group of soldiers. We'll ignore the rest of that for now.
Okay.
Actually, no, we won't. Anyway, he caught Belterin and brought him back. After which, we obviously weren't there. So Juan and Wherein went to the Free Folk camp, which was just northeast of Reed at that point, where we went and spoke to the Free Folk, who were a bunch of mercenaries who love freedom and bad stuff. And we hired 1,000 mercenaries. So we hired an army from them, and it cost us some money, or it will cost us some money. So we're going to pay for that, you included. Also, she insisted on bedding Wherein as part of the payment. So you know what sort of woman she is. And the martyr don't give mercy for that sin. Kill her. After that, we travelled with Belterin from Reed to Kurzfall, where we let his mother see him because we're nice. And they spoke, and she was very pleased. And then one was a bit of a cock about the whole shebang. And then Belterin used enchanted shoes that had been enchanted with the spell Refuge. He said a certain phrase or tapped them together 3 times and said there's no place like home. And then pop, he was gone and his shoes remained. And that's a 6th level spell. So currently that's illegal in the eyes of the gnomes, by the way. Taken.
Damn, I wish I had been here to use detect magic once.
Yes, anyway, so then Wherein and Juan had an argument about Juan being a miserable man with no honor, and Wherein being too kind to these slavers and people who crucified slaves. And Wherein told him he'd made a deal with the devils. And so that whole shebang came out.
Okay, how do you take that?
Well, we'll get to that in a minute.
We then travelled south to just north of Vigil, where our war camp was being created. We signed a treaty with Vigil, officially. They gave us some gifts. They may have given you a gift, ask Scott. Only small, minor, pleasant things, Jameson gifts, like a quill for me, and I don't know, a butt plug with Vrogar on it for one.
I didn't get
Grogo's
anything.
grinning face on one.
No,
of
well, the quill, we got that just before the Battle of Rig.
Yeah, and it was only.
Yeah,
Oh, did we?
now
Oh,
you can
okay.
mix those up
So we
now.
just went down there, and then we heard tell. So we also dispatched the riders of Wherein to Ostrad to deal with reinforcements that might end up coming to Haude Gwenh. So although we are not aware as players, as PCs, as players, we know that they have won a battle down there, and they won handily.
They won a battle, but there's still more news coming your way. I just couldn't share the information because you have to wait for the actual in-game news.
Yeah, exactly. In the meantime, we became aware of another larger army traveling to Reed, as well as an army traveling from Haude Gwenh to Harrod.
It was a scout report was thrown out there, and so you guys found out that when Beltran teleported back home, then 2 armies were roused from wherever they were, and one's heading north and south, as you can see on the map right there for you, Tesh.
And so we decided to dispatch the army of the Free Folk to Reed to ensure that that was correctly defended. And we will be hopefully sending the army of Valoran down towards, they aren't there yet, towards Harrod. In the meantime, Juan and wherein discussed matters, and we used the first boon of 3.
We'd like to have Jake take over at this point. And Jake, would you like to describe us with some detail what it was that Neil had wished for with his first boon?
I think Neil already said it.
No, he just said that a boon was used.
Pretty much, X gonna give it to you. That was that.
Okay. You know what? Honestly, you earned yourself not to have to continue. Jake, you don't know. So there's a lot of the stuff that you're not fully aware of because you were had responsibility for watching over.
You mean
army.
Tesh?
Fuck, Tesh, you
Back
don't
again.
know.
I like, honestly, it's like so. I work in healthcare, and then I come on this show to relax.
So you
Like working in social care.
Oh, thanks, Neil.
I think I'm terrible with names, and then I come on this show and I remember, I'm not so bad.
I forget my wife's name. That's right.
It's a really bad thing.
No. I don't call her like Susan or like, Karen or something, right? I just use pet names instead because I'm like, yeah, the name Britt is just like, so I'll just say something else like, oh, hey, sweetie.
God, boy, that one syllable really difficult to hold on to.
Yeah, but it's also like the worst syllable, like a Britt.
Do you ever forget your own name?
I've forgotten my like stage name. Like, oh yeah, Daelric.
I thought Scott was going to tell us about his career
sweetie.
in porn when he was younger.
No. Yes, when I was
16.
yeah,
I forgot my stage name. What was it? Scotty.
Scotty doesn't know, actually. It was fine.
You want to know a weird thing? I hesitate
my
sometimes
God.
when people call me Nick.
Nick.
Just because I'm so used to Tesh that
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
fair.
oh, right, that's me.
I actually didn't know your name was Nick. That's easier for me to remember.
There you go.
It's my best friend's name. But I'll call you Tesh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. That'll make it easier, won't it? It's your best friend's name. You never forget people who are important to use names.
Correct.
Like, your wife.
I don't forget Nick's name. I've known him longer.
That is terrible. You're a bad husband.
Besides, we've had about the same number of intimate. You know what? Never mind. So, what happened, Tesh?
Hit the brakes.
What happened, Tesh? And you need to. Oh, Mike is not my best friend. Mike is a friend who's wicked cool. Everybody knows it's Nick. And Nick's the one that Mike complains about because he's mean to him. That's awesome. So, Tesh, what happened was, they they wanted to end the war. Tesh, would you argue that less death is better?
This seems like a trap, so I'm not going to answer.
Agreed for good.
I have no idea that came in as like a robot. So you
Yeah, that was like bruh, 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 bruh.
It was the greater good, but I said it in a Somerset accent.
the greater good.
It's
So-
from Hot Fuzz. Have you
It
watched that?
depends what you're trying to trick me into saying that I agree with.
I won't trick you into anything. Your own perspective is perfectly beautiful enough, and I have seen Hot Fuzz. It's alright. So you don't know this, but they struck a deal with the Devils to have the leadership of Haude Gwenh brought to them, which is pretty amazing. They can just like grab them and be done with it.
Oh shit!
But the Devils said we can't do all of the leadership because you already have one in your possession and another one is currently on horseback elsewhere. And so you're like, oh, okay, so Beltran is riding. We already kind of knew that, so we know he's with the army. Okay, cool. And we already have his mother. So there's 2 out of the 7 members of leadership. So at least 5 left that they're gonna have brought to them. Cool. So they had this conversation, like 2 miles or so outside of your war camp, just north of Vigil. In the middle of the night in some woods in the middle of the winter.
Fuck.
No. It's just they didn't want anybody to see that they were having a conversation with devils. It's a smart decision. So the devils grabbed what, and they were like super like, you guys don't do anything bad. They just bring him to us. So one of them gets brought over, and one used his axe to persuade them to never say anything again. And then a couple moments later, another one was brought there, and he did so again and again. And one of them put up a little bit of a fight. And then one said some sexist comment.
No, he didn't.
And then
are you really gonna go there, Scott? You gonna bring that back up?
What
Wow.
the fuck is happening?
Well, I you know what, Scott? Fuck you.
I am a neutral. I'm
Can I just
Sweden.
point out,
I am
all
Sweden
the
right
things, of all the things, Scott can't remember names or anything, but he remembers Jake saying that thing accidentally, and both of me,
That didn't happen now. Shut up.
me and Scott going, woo!
Let's skip over that.
Oh no!
No.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Mushroom Farmer Boy. That's
Jake,
a fair point. Thanks, Phil.
Jake misspoke at one point, but it sounded really bad. He was like, "No, not that."
It was great.
I do.
Anyway.
So moving on. So he,
Someone send me a clip.
No, don't clip
Steve
that.
is
That-
like,
Don't actually do it.
Steve is like,
Don't actually do it. I'm kidding. Don't actually do it. I'm kidding.
So you sir, sorry, Jake, he axe murdered every single one of them in a horrible cold blood in the middle of the night, in the middle of the winter, in the middle of the woods. They then rolled.
Can you axe someone in warm blood?
Yeah, absolutely. You
Oh,
can
so
axe
they're
questions.
actually dead. Okay. See, the way you were describing it before, I'm like, wait, did he intimidate them into silence or something? And then you're like,
I'm
oh
sorry.
no, he's dead.
I'm sorry, Jake. Could you repeat that line for why you don't have to recap?
Oh, X gonna give it to you. Got it.
So then after they were all done, they just did a quick little survival check to make sure that the bodies were appropriately hidden.
Did they roll a 1?
Feel free to scroll up and see if you can find that roll.
It cuts off. Oh no, I can view all entries. Okay. Chat log. You're spamming. No, I can't. Your spamming of numbers blocks it off. I can't see further back.
That numbers has nothing to do with anything.
I'm pretty sure it's like an 11 anyway. So there we go.
They rolled a natty 1. Is what it was.
Yeah, it was a skill check, right? So it's not a natty 1. I mean, it's a natty 1, but it's not a crit fail.
That's true. That's true.
He's not wrong there, but it may have
It
been
was an 11, yeah. It was an 11.
You guys, holy shit.
Yep. So they dug a shallow grave, dumped the bodies in, and then got back to camp as the sun started to rise.
To be fair, it wasn't a shallow grave. It was a really good grave, but it was just a really good grave for one person, not 7.
He was luckily buried by the other 6.
It was a person by foot, like 1 foot per person.
So what you've done is made it so the guy we hate is now in command of all of Haude Gwenh.
But he's not in
No.
Haude Gwenh. He's riding to one of the to either.
No,
Rid
but if
or...
he survives, he will be in charge of all of Haude Gwenh.
Oh, that's a
Nah.
hard if when you have Jake on your team.
Yeah, you say that, and then
But when
like
you have Snaga on the other team, who just is fucking us.
Poor Joey. He never gets the love he deserves for all
Of
the
course
nice
he
stuff.
gets the love. He
I give
helped
him
name
the
our
love
capital
in
city.
friendly banter. All the time.
Which is, for an Australian, true love.
So that was a half-hour recap. Why don't we get into the actual session? So it's dawn.
I think we need a break now.
I honestly feel like I'm like, oh, that was exhausting.
yeah.
It's dawn, and you guys have because what's his name? Tesha's character there. Valorant has not head to Rid yet, has he? No, he's supposed to head to Rid in the morning to get there in time to command the army of the Free Folk, I believe. But let's continue. You guys make your way back for dawn, back into the camp. I mean, Neil, it's not like you're clean yourself, and obviously, what's his name there? One has a bit of blood and viscera on his clothing, and his axe is dirtied, and so on. As you guys approach the camp for sunrise, what's the plan here?
The plan was, I believe, many weeks ago to head out with the army of Valorant and the riders of Wherein. Or Wherin's riders, whatever. To Harrod, wasn't it?
Did you
Feel
want
like that
to
was?
try to disguise your
I mean, I've only got mud on me.
Yeah, you totally didn't help move bodies.
Yeah, but I move it with my hands.
Sure.
I like hold them to me, like come to daddy. What do you want for Christmas?
I don't think
It's not my
Neil,
name.
I don't think Neil remembers some of the franticness of the scene.
Can you blame him? It's been like 7 weeks.
I do
Destroyed.
actually. I can blame him. So.
Yeah, I wanted to spend New Year's with my family.
How dare you? Don't you know? Tesh is your real family. I literally had to pause to not say Jake.
Why? Why am I not included in that?
Yeah, wow. What are you trying to say?
Oh, okay. See where this is going.
I'm just gonna.
You see this? Regicide can barely keep together as a cohesive group. In this, Scott tries to pull us apart. He's trying.
But you're so attracted to one another that.
Yeah, we're like glue.
Yeah.
Gorilla glue, though, not like some cheap off-brand glue.
In all honesty, but like in our mine and Neil's fight, it lasted what, maybe in character 30 minutes, maybe not even that, like 10 minutes.
Slaughtering those 5 people?
No, our fight.
Yeah.
After Belcheron's disappearance.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, it was pretty quick. Yeah, and that that has like huge rippling effects beyond just like my pride is injured. That was like something.
Oh wait, you guys actually fought?
Argued.
Yeah.
We were in a fight.
Okay.
We didn't draw weapons.
They don't draw weapons.
Like, what sort of party would do that?
Yeah, you don't draw weapons against your party member. That's just foul play.
That was weak, Scott. Come on, you know, come up with, like what sort of snake would draw their weapons on their ally?
I was trying not to point specific fingers. I like Tyler. He's my friend.
But we're not.
I am Sweden in this. I stand by. I am just standing to the side, letting things happen.
That's squeak.
So
the point of that is, though, we work quite well together.
Yes. So you guys, what I mean is, would you take a moment to go try to like freshen yourself up to pretend like you had been sleeping throughout the night, or would you just be like meh and like go up to the what's his name there, Val, and the War Council?
I'd go get 2 to cast fucking restoration on me.
Yeah, I'd go over for wash. I'm not gonna like just turn up in a war council looking like a slob. I need to have clean clothes for one of my traits to work. So I'd go and wash up. I hear a cat though.
Yeah, she's on my lap getting pets.
I hate cats.
I'm not a monster. I would never actually hurt the cat. You know what I mean? Like, I hate cats. They're a terrible species, but I wouldn't actually hurt a
They
living
are
creature.
not a terrible species.
The only way I'd hurt a living creature is if I was hunting it to eat it. You know, that's otherwise. Why would I hurt a creature? That's not cool. You know, but so the yeah. So you guys go and try to wash yourself up. You're gonna go specifically to see what's his name, 2, no, or 3, either one of them to cast Lesser Restoration on you. So let's go to the RP because Neil's just gonna kind of try to clean himself off in a tub or whatever. Because there's so many of those in a war camp. When you
Full
go...
Geralt.
I haven't finished the series yet, so I haven't had time. So you, sir, go walking up into the tent that has the 2 of them in it. You know, they don't sleep together, just in the same tent. And when you go in, it's one of those, you know, the dwarf is... I mean, the short, burly human.
That was a slip and a half, wasn't it? Guys, dwarves are now an unlocked race in the community game. Well done.
Oh, oops.
Is yeah.
Just kick his boot.
So they're still sleeping, and the what's it called? The she's already up, because she's like, you know, very dedicated. So she's up and going out of business. So when you come walking in, she kind of like looks over at you, and then like as she sees you and catches sight of your whole scenario, she then turns like full body to look at you, and he's still snoring on the ground or whatever. And she's like, "Did something happen last night that I was unaware of? None of us were told to mobilize."
Taking care of some business.
There wasn't another assassination attempt. The general is okay.
Yeah, he's good. Can you help me out? I've been awake all night and I'm rather tired.
You do look like shit.
Yeah, I have to ride today.
Are you asking for me to prepare some tea for you? Or more along the lines of Roga's blessing?
Both.
Roga's blessing, if you please.
That would be my answer right now.
Both is good.
She thinks for a second and comes over and like leans against a box or whatever happens to be nearby. Because she's short, being a fue. Leans over something nearby and looks up at you and says, "I'm sure you've earned Vroga's blessing, but please tell me, what has happened?"
He just looks around and he says, "Not now. I'll tell you and 2 later. We're going the same way."
She nods and she goes over and she opens up the tent like curtain so she can look out at everything else that's going on out there. And she like holds the thing open and she looks out there, and because you're so tall compared to how short she is, you can't really see what she's seeing. You know what I mean? If she was taller, you know, you'd be able to, the way she's holding it, be able to see out there. She's like, mornings in the winter, or early spring, I suppose, at this point. They're beautiful around here, aren't they?
Yeah.
I have always enjoyed them. I mean, the cold, crisp air with the unrelenting force of nature surrounded by... Oh.
It's a trap.
Except we're not surrounded by nature, are we? It seems as though we're surrounded by a... How would one describe this? I suppose someone could mistake this for being a place where worshippers of Lady Arrowville might be. She closes the flap and walks over. Is the war going well?
Wait, what?
Yes. You heard that.
She said that.
Yep.
One would just look at her and be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
She says, "What do you mean?"
One just looks confused.
So he just continues to stare at her. She says, blessing of Roga, of course. I'm sure you've earned it. And she'll go over to you and place a hand on you and say like a quick prayer or whatever it is of Roga, casting lesser restoration, eliminating you of all of your fatigue and whatnot. So your bones are a little less achy, your eyes are a little less droopy, your mind is a bit more keen. You know, you're equally irritable though, and hungry. And she says, "We're waiting orders for when and where to mobilize."
We're going today, and Yara, are you referring to what are you referring to? You can't just say shit like that and then just gloss over it. Are you referring to the fact that we're in a camp and we're just not charging straight for Haude Gwenh?
Prudent planning is generally the best approach to war, isn't it?
Not always. However, it's not just me, you, and three. You know, even the order. We had our orders. We did have to plan to some extent, but we were always vicious on the battlefield.
She nods. Oh, of course.
We give no quarter. He just looks at her and he's kind of got a strange look on his face, like he's been like kind of been just like called out. So he's like kind of pissed.
Well, I'm sure two will be waking shortly. We'll be looking forward to...
You know what, Yara? You know what? Get two. Rouse the men. All of us will go. We'll go now. We'll just charge. Let's do it.
She looks at you like she doesn't believe you.
Rouse the men. Let's go.
She goes over and gives two... I mean, it was more friendly, but certainly not pleasant. Kick to like the spleen to wake him up. Oh, motherfucker! And he kind of like jerks and wakes up and starts moving over, and starts moving to get up. And he's like, "What the fuck?" She goes, "Time for us to go." It's like, "I thought I was sleeping in today." You did. And she like like throw something at him, like a bit of clothing or whatever, and he starts sitting up and looks over you and he's like, "Hey, over to you, one."
He just looks at two and he just doesn't even say anything. He's just got like a angry expression on his face.
He looks around for a second and he's like, "Something in my beard?"
No, three's just calling me out of my shit. So we're me, you three, and the other 100 men. We're going to go take on an army of 1,000, I think it was, or something. Let's go.
He springs up and he's like, "Yes!" And he's excited. So he jumps up. Wow. Neil looks very different now, and Jake's microphone just changed sound, so he sounds so different now. So it's so funny. Tesh, would you like to do something?
Done for noticing change.
So, what was the plan for me? I'm getting up and writing for someone.
You're going to be spoken with, like the whole group in theory is going to be speaking in a moment. I meant out of game. I was just being funny. Oh, not so. Oh. So he gets up and he's excitedly going about it. Do you do anything else at this point, Jake, or?
No, he probably sits down in their tent and is just seething.
She leaves the tents to go and start getting the men ready. Vroga's men and Vaku. I had to do the voice. That's how I remember his name. That's how I have to remember Tesh's name. No? Moving on.
No.
So you go and you're sitting there aggravated. You, Neil, you finish getting yourself prepared. You're cleaning yourself up. So people, of course, see that you're coming in looking tired in the middle of the morning. Sorry, early in the morning, looking tired. But maybe you just had a restless night's sleep, all done up in your war gear as you go in and bathe and get yourself prepared. Do you meet at the main tent there, Neil, with Tesh and the rest of the council?
Yep.
Okay. One of the things that you'll have noted is that there's a bit of a clamoring when the two of you come walking in. And I imagine that both of you come walking in about the same time. This is Neil and Tesh. As a little bit of clamoring. And then the general, as you two are walking in, raises a hand to quiet everybody and will give an appropriate, attention on the two of you and says, Chosen, I'm glad you could join us this morning. Unfortunately, there seems to be a bit of change in plans. May I understand what it is that we're doing?
Change in plans?
What?
What?
I have the worst headache. I don't understand. I might be a little bit fuzzy this morning.
I actually think they might be here right now. He says, it seems as though the small group that's being dubbed Vroga's army, led by one, is being mobilized as we speak. They haven't quite left camp yet, but they're certainly looking to do so. Are you aware of this?
No, I didn't think this was part of the plan.
Perhaps then you should go speak with one quickly while I go and answer this phone call.
Wow. What a professional streamer. Do you guys want to see my cat? She's on my lap. Look at
Oh,
her.
kitty.
In my room's a mess at the moment because
yeah, it is.
I'm getting a chest of drawers in here to deal with my mess.
Fair enough.
So we're getting a chest of drawers delivered, which will go in the bedroom tomorrow, and then the smaller chest of drawers will move across from there into here, so that I can tidy my shit. Because I've got lots of Warhammer stuff, actually, lots of it all over the floor. You do want to see my pussy, Anno? Don't lie. Well, I'm just replying to chat. This is the purpose of Twitch as a platform. It's interactive, and I'm interacting with my chat, not Scott's chat, my chat. Oh, hey,
what
Scott.
was that deal you were saying? Your chat, not Scott's chat, your chat?
I only want to know, based off of what I read in chat, what has happened.
I sent a message saying, "What are you doing? What's going on?" And that was all I sent to one. In that exact tone of half awake headachiness.
Oh, using your bracelet thing.
No, message 100 feet.
Oh, you have message spell?
Yes, it's a level 0.
Like he's a wizard.
Yeah, it's like I'm a wizard but without a book.
Ow, ouch! Just getting a revenge for being vaccinated earlier.
So?
We're waiting for you. We're like directionless sheep without.
Are you gonna go talk
to?
Are you gonna go talk to one?
Well, Tesh just told you that he was sending a message.
Yeah. So one can respond by writing back, but he doesn't. He can't respond just automatically because it's not 5e.
No, but now I'm waiting for one to come to us essentially.
Yeah.
You received no response.
Oh, let's go over there then.
The general says, Chosen, would you like me to come with you or continue as planned?
Continue preparing the army as planned. We will speak with one and find out what's going on.
We'll be ready to leave within an hour's time. They've also started mobilizing this morning, however, whenever you're ready.
Good job, General. We shall see you whenever that is. Why did you just bite my hand? You love me.
The general bit your hand?
Yeah, the general reminds me of Artie. He's cute and fluffy and very competent at killing things.
And
But at the
has 9
same
lives.
At the same time, yeah, and keeps coming back to life. Loves chin scratches, but sometimes you get a bit sassy, huh?
Was the
Yeah.
map on the wrong map before?
No. Anyway, yes, let's go find out what one is doing.
Oh, I never transferred the map over for people to see it easier. I was dumb. Ah, there we go. That's fine. Go ahead, I'm listening.
What?
Oh, okay.
We're going to go and speak with one.
Yeah. Oh, wait. You go to speak with what? That's not me.
Yeah, but what's he doing?
He's preparing himself to leave. The army is mobilized. They're all together. They have all the things. They're literally like walking. Like by the time we get there, they're like getting ready to like they're out the door.
All right then.
It's like they're backing out of the driveway as you're walking up to the front step. You know.
I presume we'd go over on horseback then.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sped. One. Where are you going?
You'd come across one, and he'd probably be on his horse, not looking too pleased, and he'd just turn to say, he'd probably like kind of ride up to you, and he'd hold out his arm, he'd grip your forearm, and he'd say, "Wherein," and then he'd look to Valorant and say, "Valorant, I may die this day. We ride to fight.
What?
We ride now."
Why?
Because as my wonderful companion 3 has pointed out, apparently this is a Lady Eraville camp and not befitting of Vrogar. So
I see, but
we'll see.
I'm sorry. Where is she?
She's already starting to ride out with a couple of the others. One had to go over a couple of details.
Wherein would shout in motion for her.
It's loud in the area, so a simple shout wouldn't work, but you'd be able to get her attention inevitably, riding over a bit, whatever it might be. Yep.
I can shoot her a message if I have to.
Or that. Oi. That's the only
Oi,
one.
get back here.
3 over here, please.
Oi. Yeah, no. She comes over, and she looks to one and then to the two of you. She has just a calm face.
You seem to have riled one up reasonably well.
Is there something I can be of? Is there some way I could be of service?
I was wondering why you intend to lead these men to their deaths.
I intend to serve Vroga.
Yes, by dying. We've established that.
With all due respect, Chosen, I don't think you understands the ways of Vroga. I understand that you do have the guidance of Lady, the other goddess's name, but you don't understand the teachings of Vroga and the ways of Vroga.
Yes, that means nothing to me, what you've just said. Explain.
We ride.
Why? Vrogar demands war, not death.
There's fighting smartly, and then there's fighting just to die.
She nods. She says, "Of course."
Then why do you wish to go and die?
Nobody's here wishes to go and die.
If you intend to fight any of the armies of Haude Gwenh with this measly force you have here, you will not win.
She nods and says, "When you lack faith, you fail."
You also fail when you lack a head. And I mean that in both senses of the term.
Faith can be strong, but it is not impervious.
She says, "I'm sure we'll be fine."
One, call off this nonsense. There's no reason for you to go.
I can't,
Why not?
because she's not wrong.
You're telling me that you must go and die because this is not a Vrogar camp.
No, I believe that with more numbers, we'd be able to wage war longer and bring many more victories to Vrogar's name. But we can't. And he looks around at like the other orcs and that, and he says, "This is hard for me. I haven't led before. This is not our way, and I struggle to find a balance."
There will be plenty more battles to fight. You don't need to start one right now.
If you go now, the amount of Roga worship in Adir will decrease significantly with all of your deaths.
Excuse me. I don't think that you are in a place to understand how it is that Vroga's name is spread to the other peoples across all of these lands.
No?
No.
Please explain. Once again, you make a vague statement referencing your faith with no explanation. You might understand that the god that
She turns and starts riding away.
One turns back to look at you and he says, "I wish you luck and I hope to see you again. Continue with your plan. Fight Beltran. Beat him. Hell, you should kill him."
This is...
One, I will not let my friend go to his death. If that woman wishes to ride off to it, then so be it. But you, I will not allow.
It's bigger than me. It's bigger than Valoran.
It's
I
not
cannot
bigger
lose
than you.
face in the eyes of my god and the eyes of his worshippers. Rayron, go south. Take Beltran. Take whatever town that is. Harrod?
Harrod. Harrod. Yeah, Harrod. Sorry.
Yeah, Harrod. Take Harrod.
If this is what you wish, then I will not stop you by force. However, you will have to cut a deal. I have two terms. One, you will not die. Two, three will ride with me. You've changed and I don't trust what she says, and apparently I have much to learn about the ways of Rogar. It would be negligent of me to disregard the wisdom of Lady Arenda and let such a knowledge source go and die. Those are my terms.
I will try and talk to Three and convince her. However, we will not be going to Harrod. We will be going to Haude Gwenh.
Yes. Otherwise, you'd be traveling with me.
And we'd be
That
slightly
is why
ahead of you.
Three should travel with me.
He looks and he nods, and he says to you both, he says, "I hope to see you again." And then he'll turn and ride to Three.
There's no logic for this.
What
Aaron, check him.
just
Perhaps
happened?
he's enchanted. And you know what we're both
Yep,
gonna do.
immediately, yep. Just we look at each other, like the eyes blink to like glow, look at each other, then we both turn to look at him.
That's what they look like. Oh, I detect the magic of you casting detect magic.
High five.
So you both look I mean, one, again, as always, round one, you see there are layers of magic on top of him. Round two, you can start to see the number of magic layers on him. It's like you ever memorized. There's different effects often on him at all points in time, right? And then number 3 is you're kind of like scanning over, specifically looking to see if there is an enchantment on him. Why don't you each of you roll me an Arcana check?
Oh, that I can do.
Oh my god, Ken. I'm afraid that your claws are clawsy right now. It's not her fault. It's my fault. Oh my god.
Oh my god, you beat me. I rolled terribly.
I mean, Val's a little rusty. So, I feel like my camera's never correct today. So you, sir, are looking him over, and you very quickly scan. You probably even have to walk after him a little bit. Not like in a too creepy of a fashion, but you do have to be within 60 feet, right? So you do like kind of keep with him just a smidge.
We stalk him, yeah.
Allow it to linger for like almost a minute or so that he stays within range for you to parse through all the effects. And as far as you can tell, there is no enchantment, there is no domination, nothing like that that seems to be swaying him, other than, I don't know, maybe he was just up a little too late. Maybe your actions last night left an impact.
This doesn't.
It is
seem right.
new to one, consorting with devils. That's kind of a...
I don't know any of this. I'm just like confused.
Poor
I don't
Val.
understand.
I was like, my friends are awesome. They're the most good people ever.
I'm confused. They're acting so strange. What could cause them to do this? I don't know what to do.
Haude Gwenh is undefended. There is no significant army that we are aware of there. However,
Okay.
the people will fight as they are attacked, but there's no point in attacking Haude Gwenh at the moment. There's no reason to it.
We don't need to attack the people we're trying to save.
I find myself at rather a conundrum. One acts extremely strangely. I cannot fathom his thinking in the slightest. And now I find myself in a position where I order my general to kill 100 men to save my friend. Or we let him go. I doubt they'd agree to be retained peacefully. Let us wait and see. If 3 rides over, then I will be satisfied, and I will let him go.
And if not?
I'm not certain.
I am going to go speak with the general. Keep me informed.
So
I'm going to ride off to inform him of what's going on.
you go to head towards the general. Neil, you're staying behind here, kind of like lingering, like a
like a Scots cat.
I was gonna say like you weren't stood up for a date. So so you're gonna head back to the general. When you get back into the camp with the general, you can see that pretty much everything is kind of finished up with the conversation. And he looks to you and says, was it Chosen of the Hearth? Your army is prepared. You could be leaving in less than half hour's time. Are you prepared for the road?
Yes and no. We've had a problem.
What might it be?
I'd like to speak with you alone. And I'll move away from the others just to, if there's anyone else here.
He'll look to the others and say, We're pretty much finished here. Everybody, you know which army you're going to be heading up. You know which chosen you're going to be riding with. Get yourselves prepared. Give your family a hug. And, because some of them bring their families, right? We ride in the name of Valorin this day. And then, and they all go kind of like separate. He looks to you and says, Chosen?
The army of Rogar is riding for Haude Gwenh.
He thinks, he's like, Haude Gwenh. But their forces are heading to the north and to the south.
Yes. They seek to reclaim some of what their god wants from them. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but Rayron and I are currently trying to figure out what to do about the situation.
Do you know if one is upset with me?
I do not know anything of what goes on in one's mind right now. We checked him for magics, and I don't think we saw anything, but he is acting very strange.
Well, in his defense, he is a ranked member of Vroga's worship, and I, for many years, commanded armies in the name of Lady Aravel. Perhaps my tactics don't sit well with him. He never expressed as much in the past.
It is confusing. At the very least, he's going to attack a populace that we are meant to be trying to save, and that worries me.
Did he say that he's going to be attacking the population, or perhaps he's looking to just finish the army there? No ports to, find.
I worry about what happens if the populace sees it as a attack and try to defend themselves, more so than him attacking them.
Did he not say as much?
He didn't say much at all, to be honest.
It's unusual. I haven't seen him today.
He seems eager to ride out immediately.
Nods.
Will you come meet with Rayron as I try and think of anything to solve this situation?
I'll be frank with you, Chosen of the Hearth. I will go wherever it is that you ask me to. If you wish me to ride after one, I will gladly do so. However, the armies left days ago for Rid and Harad. The longer we belay...
Yes, I know. We will have to come to a decision extremely quickly.
If I was a betting man, and I had to put my coin as to who's going to fare well in the decisions made, I think the army of Roga will do better with their defenses than Rid or Harad will do without ours.
Indeed. I just hope that's the right decision.
Let us hope indeed. I do wish we had the ability to communicate instantaneously, but unfortunately, we chose against utilizing such tactics.
Well, let us meet with Rayron. He tried to make a deal with one. Let's at least find out the result of that.
You guys go there. Jake, you go riding back to where 3 is and 2 is, kind of like leading up the army. 2 is like excited. He's like, yes, war. Do I do it? Who? Ha, war. What is it good for? Spreading the word of Rogar. Tell it again now. No, sorry. So you go riding back up to them. What do you say as you come against 2? She doesn't look angry. She just has a calm expression on her face as she's riding forward.
That's 3, not 2.
My apologies. 3. 2 is, of course, excitable. And is that a cat fart? Oh, that's
Oh, those are
horrifying.
terrible.
Oh my God. Oh,
Instant karma.
oh my God. You're so
brilliant.
small. How is that a thing? Oh my God, that is terrible. I hate cats.
Uh,
Okay, well then.
Oh.
Oh. Go ahead, what? It's all you, buddy.
So as he's like approaching her, he would kind of have a bit of tunnel vision, and he'd actually go to say her name before stopping himself at the first letter. He'd just say like, yeah. And then he'd say 3. I need you to ride with the other chosen. If we die, somebody has to take my place and counsel and show that the will of Rogar still lives in Cursefall.
Who would you like to do this position?
You.
If you fall, Vroga will return you. I'll see to it myself. I intend not to fight not by your side, as I'm sure 2 will be flitting about.
Not only am I a member of the Order of the Broken Chain, am I a worshipper of Rogar, I am also a leader. And whilst they have agreed on terms, you are needed to go with them.
To go with them?
Yes, you will fight at their side. And if I am slain and I don't return, you are to take my position as High Priest and ensure that Vrogar's will thrives in Cursefall for a long time to come. May the memory of the 1 and 100 live on.
She stops her horse and like turns to like, and kind of like rest her arms on it because again she's short, it's a big horse, her being a fouet. And she turns to you and says, I'll admit, beautifully said, borderline poetic. Perhaps you didn't find your correct place in this world. Perhaps you should have been a skald.
Fuck you.
She'll smile a little bit at that and says, why would I want to go and spend my time with that pompous prick? I understand he's a friend of yours, but I don't... Let's be clear for a moment here. I don't care about Valorant. I care about one. I care about Vroga. I came because Vroga brought me to you. I came because you needed us by your side, as has been seen time and time again. And assuming we all live, I'm sure I'll leave. But I do not care about Valorant. I do not serve Valorant. I serve Vroga. And at this point, I serve you.
I've been trying to build something that will last a long time, wage many wars, have many battles. If there is not, and he looks at the both of them and says, if there is not one of us there and they do survive, I am not sure how long Rogar's will be prevalent. I've driven hard in many of the decisions I've made to make it so. And then he'd turn to 2 and he'd say, 2, do you have the ability to seek guidance from Vrogar or Vrogar's servants? He's asking if you know what I'm talking about, Scott.
I'm sorry, do you any opportunity to oh, you're talking about finding the 2 people.
Talking about
no.
the spell Augury.
Oh, yeah. He has the spell Augury. Yeah, my apologies.
I have a question before we leave. and I would like Rogar's direct guidance upon it.
He nods and says, I can get out my bones if you have yourself a question.
I do.
He goes and kind of reaches into his pouch and pulls out some old bones. He's
Whips out his dick.
all right, Neil. Let's not be so crass. And so he pulls out some bones, and he's like, "You remember when we got in these things? Fucking slavers." And he holds them up. What about them?
My question is, do we ride for Haude Gwenh? Do we ride to take Haude Gwenh?
Ride to take Haude Gwenh. He looks at Three and says, "Is that the plan you crazy fuck's been putting together?" And she just gives him like a little bit of like a quarter smile, and he's like, "Oh boy, you guys keep things interesting." And so he takes him, and he'll hop off his horse for a minute, and he'll kind of get down, and he'll say the prayer, and he throws them up in the air, the bones up in the air as he continues to say the prayer to Vroga, and he lets like most of them fall down, but will catch one of them in the air, and then he as he like opens his eye, he drops that one on the ground too, looks down, and you specifically said ride to take Haude Gwenh. You actually get the response wield and woe. Do you remember how that works?
Yeah, it's like good and bad. I think
Good because you're going to take it, bad because they're going to murder you all with pitchforks because there's like 5,000 of them.
He goes, well, it looks like there's going to be some good shit, but coming at a cost. It's all right, my pockets are deep.
It's only one question, or is it more?
You can ask again this spell does not have a diminished returns.
I think it does. I think it's
does,
maybe
yeah.
not accurate.
Oh, so this one does have the diminished. I always confuse the additions.
I think so.
The base chance for receiving meaningful reply is 70% plus 1%. Yeah, that's right.
Okay,
if you assume he's like say level 5, let's call it that. That means you had a 75% chance at first, and it's diminishing from there.
Yeah. So he would say next, you got a wheel and woe, which means good and bad. So they should ride there, is what he's assuming. Although they may not be successful, but they should do it anyway. And then he looks and he says, I guess this little smirk on his face, and he says, "Can I use the axe?"
Are you referring to the axe that you recently received?
Yep.
Oh. I pressed DM instead of GM because I'm a dummy. Okay, apparently... Oh, I forgot the no space. Apparently I don't type this very often. Your response is... wield. So you say, "Can I use the axe?" He looks down at it, and he looks up and he says, "Looks like wield to wield."
That's clever, especially for him.
Are you referring to the NPC or the one role-playing them?
The NPC. Not that cruel. I definitely am that cruel.
Okay, he looked to 3 and he says, "You seen the answers?"
She nods. Mm-hmm.
"I don't think we return from this. Are you sure you will not try to continue the legacy that I've tried to maintain? You don't need to do it forever, but just set it up so it doesn't fail upon my death, if that is what Vroga has for me."
The 3 of us made a pact some time ago.
He nods.
When things start, letting him cough. Oh, she says, when things as grand as this scenario present itself, did our pact say for us to split and go separate ways? Or did our pact say to stand, shoulder to shoulder, back to back, against all odds?
He looks deep in thought, and then he kind of snaps out of it. He puts his hand on both their shoulders, and he says, "We'll stand together till the end."
We stand together! We fall together! But we take every fucking bloody one of them with us!
And then he will yell as loud as he possibly can. And I think he can use the Mama's Rough to throw his voice as well.
Uh-oh.
And he just yells, "We ride." And then they mount up.
The painter's not here yet, which is the reason why we haven't taken a break yet. He said he'll be here about 10:15, which is like less than 15 minutes from now. So it's like, okay, cool. We can just keep going a little bit. And when he gets here, we'll just take a longer break at that time. Not a half hour like last time. Get him situated and then come downstairs and sound like a crazy person. So you guys mount up and ride away.
Jesus.
You are just irresistible as a man, Scott.
So you start riding away. When you go down there, Tash, with the general, you meet up with Rayron, who's Rayron's kind of watching them because he's creepy. They're talking. They're throwing something. I think it's shade. And you ride up to Rayron watching them, and he's kind of like, you see the conversation or whatever happening. He comes over and he'll say, "Chosen."
General,
How's it looking?
we must pray for our friend's return. And right now we should ride to Harrod.
Indeed. Okay. Original plan, then.
To be clear, Chosen, referring to both of you, like the multiple, plural Chosen, there's not too much of a difference, one plan to the other. I mean, it would have been nice to have another army that we could have split up and used various tactics with, but we'll be able to manage without them. The plan as it stood was the army of Valorin was going to ride south, led by myself. We were going to leave a small little bastion behind here to aid Vigil if they needed it. Excuse me. Val, Chosen Hearth, you were supposed to head north with the Free Folk to aid in the defense of Rid. The Riders of Rayron. Were you coming south with me? If I remember correctly, yes.
In truth, I wish to follow one. But it seems that he must walk this path with the followers of Vroga alone. He promised he'd come back. And I must have faith. Yes, I will ride with you to Harrod, General. It will be good to fight alongside you and to free a deer.
He nods, and he looks to you, Val, and says, "You're confident in your command. The Free Folk are quite capable. Point, and they swing."
So I've heard. I don't doubt their abilities. I believe I can command well enough. Good luck with your fights. I just, as Erwin said, wrapping my head around having to trust in one to survive.
Valrin, if one doesn't return, if I don't return, if both of us don't return, we believe in you. We trust in you. You're the chosen of the martyr. It's her blessing that's freed this land. Don't ever doubt your divine right to rule, to lead, and to protect our people.
Thank you. But also, you better come back because I goddamn need you both.
I'll try.
See you when this is over then.
He'll hold out the arm for the forearm clasp.
Yep, forearm clasp.
This means we are men.
And away we go.
Okay. So you under pressure, pressing down on you. I'm sorry. That song actually goes ice, ice, baby.
I knew Scott was like, when he's like, that's Scott, that song actually, I was already in my head. I was like, oh, fuck off, Scott.
Yeah. Well, what can I say? Americans make everything better. You start heading to the north, and you start heading to the south. Now, it's a funny little difference in the transportation for the two of you, because wherein literally joins up with the army of Valrin, which is what, 500 people, and the whereine's riders is just 200, giving you 700 people riding south. The free folk, that 1,000 are already situated up north. So you heading up there yourself there, what's your name, Valrin? You heading up there yourself is kind of like you're just going off with a small little group of guards. So in theory, you have the more dangerous trek. As for
Take Mushroom Man with you. He'll protect you.
he doesn't know. Do you know the Mushroom
Who's
Man?
Mushroom Man?
Do you know the
who's
Mushroom Man?
Man?
The Mushroom Man who's down by Vigil Bay? We met Mushroom Man. I'll tell you about it at some point.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was trippy. Moving on. So you, sorry, you guys are gonna start riding off. Now I'm just checking the speeds of your armies. Raven's riders can get down to Herod in a day's time by nightfall. If they push it, they can get down there really quickly to Herod to this day. To maybe rout out the army that's there before, and then have the army of Valrin kind of rolling in behind them. I think that was your plan.
That was, but I just like, I mean, I've got the general here. He's a general. But I presume he thinks this is a good plan. I wouldn't do it if he didn't.
Oh, yeah. He thinks it's a good idea for you to rout the pre-existing settled-in army before.
Yeah, so that we
reserves,
can break their fortifications and we can fortify ourselves in their position.
Exactly, because you're going to be fighting an army. These are like reserves. So you want to take out the weekend warriors and before you deal with the army. Yeah.
Yeah, Baron's happy then.
Yep.
He'd ride.
And for you, Tesh, your ride is actually going to be a bit longer. Because you're traveling as an individual person.
Yep.
So it's realistically 3 hexes away. I'm just checking my riding speeds really quickly. Okay. I keep being like, did I get it? Because I phone, if I don't know your phone number, it automatically sends you to voicemail. I'm like, I'm not getting missed calls ever.
Does it really?
Yeah. Just because I hate phone calls if I don't know who you are.
No, little Scotty, so scared.
Super. So you're going to be riding on a horseback there, sir. I'm just checking. Sorry. Party speed 50 feet. Planes 4 hours. If you push hard, you could be there in 1 day, but you're gonna have to really push yourself, and that allows you to get there and sleep the night before they arrive. Their Tesh.
Yeah. I think, honestly, that's the best decision, even if it pushes the horse a little much.
And you're going to have to fortitude saves and stuff like that. So why don't we roll your fortitude saves before we continue on with a little bit of narrative with Jake, and then we're going to pull the full camera to Neil when we come back from break. So why don't you roll me your first, because it's actually, I'm just looking at travel here. Oh, no, that's edicts.
Well, okay, how many fortitude saves is it?
It's actually, so you can travel 8 hours normally. It's 12 hours of full travel. So you're going to have to make 4 fortitude saves. But the DC starts off at 10 and gets +1 with each successive check, success or failure. So realistically, you need a 10, 11, 12, 13. That's not unbearable.
But what happened? Wait, what are the stat changes if I fail? Where's exhausted?
You'll be fatigued. You'll be able to sleep away fatigue either way. I suppose you can always slow down if you need to, if you get to that scenario.
Oh, okay. So I can sleep away fatigue.
You sleep away fatigue overnight, no problem. Exhaustion takes a whole day.
Shit.
But fatigue,
what do you guys think?
But you can choose to stop. You can be like, I'm going until I stop. And then stop could be after 1 hour, it could be after 4 hours.
Okay, so like go hard, and then if we need to stop, we stop.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Technically speaking, I think you can actually, let me just look at something really quickly. Pathfinder travel. I thought I heard a doorbell, but I can't hear my microphone anymore. Like, I don't hear myself anymore or anything around me.
It's terrible.
So it makes it very difficult. 1 day travel, yeah, you can't hustle for a day. So that's not an option, yeah. So you're going to have to, first fortitude save, sir.
Don't I have to make one for my horse as well?
You do.
Too nice.
Okay. I don't know if my horse has been set up properly yet, because I remember last time it definitely wasn't, but I'll roll with what's on the sheet.
Yeah. Okay, good. Roll number 2. This is 11s now. So you're 3 hours away from Rid as this is ending. You beat it. You beat it. No problem. Cool. Roll number 3.
Okay.
You're 2 hours away from Rid. Oh, you just barely made it. That was on the nose, buddy.
Yes.
Okay. And then your final hour, no matter what, you're going to get there. It's just what condition you get there in.
You can do it, buddy.
Oh, yeah. Okay, good.
So even if things go poorly overnight, you'll be fine.
My horse is less okay.
She's shattered, but she made it.
Oh, yep. Beautiful. So that was all.
Callie gets to sleep tomorrow. I take one of the horses of the town or something just for the battle.
That was all your luck. You're going to get crushed in the morning. So you make it there, no problem. Now, Roga's army, you travel at the speed of... Well, let me click. That's why.
Sound.
It's just speed of sound. Speed of silence. So you are what? We're technically up here with the... let me make sure you're to front. Technically up here with this, right? So you're going to be traveling to Haude Gwenh. That is 5.5 hexes, which is 1 to almost 3 days of travel, unless your army pushes itself, which technically isn't really a rule. But
you're talking to me now, right?
What did I?
Yes.
Yeah. Did I say Jake?
You said I didn't hear if you actually mentioned me.
Jake don't get it wrong. He just wasn't listening to your pitch.
Okay. So long as I didn't say Tesh, I was like.
Before you go there is as we're leaving camp, we'd only get a little bit out, and I'd actually call for Momig because I have a very urgent question which is going to affect where we go.
Beautiful. So who's Merbeg?
Momig.
Who's that?
Momig.
Old Man, Young Man Ghost.
Old Man, Young Man Ghost.
Yeah, but his letters are a little bit adjusted.
The old man, young man Ghost. Okay, so you call for, you'd be like, kind of like a come to me. And a couple moments later, because obviously he always finishes whatever he's working on, he kind of like seems to step into reality.
He appears and he zips up.
It's one of those full-on adjusting the belt, like you know what he was doing. No, so you he stands there and says, "I feel like you've been calling me more often lately than you had for a long period of time prior.
Oh my god, he's like a. I was gonna say like a girlfriend, but
Well, we're at war. That would make sense. Correct? I have a favor to ask you.
He nods.
We go to attack Haude Gwenh. I assume you've been listening and you probably know that already.
Yes.
Now,
yeah, you're done.
I don't expect that we will all return. However, I don't know if any of us will. I don't. Rogar has insisted that we go, whatever the cost. So I was wondering if you could help me.
In what way?
I need you to activate the portal like you did for wherein and allow us to go through into the heart of Haude Gwenh, where we may come out and attack with surprise.
He thinks for a moment. You wish to ride to Kurzfall, not to Haude Gwenh.
I wish to ride to Kurzfall to get to the heart of Haude Gwenh.
You know, I understand. He thinks for a moment, and he's like, I'll be honest with you. That is exhausting to do. It is very difficult to link the two portals. I've offered to you a year's worth of protection. I will do this for you. But the degree of exhaustion that it does to me, it will cost you a month of that protection. However, you will also be crushing your enemies, so perhaps you won't need it.
Can you appear before wherein and Valorant as well? Simultaneously or not?
That's tricky. Hold on. You two see.
he's like, let me just call them up on Zoom.
No, I love the idea of like Valorant's like full on riding, and then there's just even like he's just there sliding along the ground. What the fuck?
Hello.
That tickled me. I wasn't expecting that. I think I just punctured something. Oh,
What the fuck?
So he just appears.
just gets mowed down by.
He just appears like a good 150 feet or so. Sorry, like 150 yards or so ahead of you, and just starts waving. And he's like, "Hold on to you, Jake." I was like waving you down there, Wherein.
I mean, obviously, I'll have to stop
Okay.
for a bit.
As for
just a
you,
second, guys.
as for you, Tesh, you actually feel like a tighten around your hips as you realize like somebody's on the
shit.
horse. Somebody's on the horse with you.
Oh fuck! What the? Okay, hi.
And you're like, it's just Momik.
Just don't worry, guards. Don't worry. I just had a moment. I'll be talking to myself for a minute. Just go on.
Jake, you hear him say, "Chosen of the Hearth."
I have them on line 2 and 3.
What is? Hello. What is happening?
I believe the Chosen of the Blade is looking to speak with you through me, but also to get your opinion on a matter. And again, Jake, you hear that as well.
Just relay what I said and what you have said, and we just need a yes or a no.
Then, Tesh, you hear him say, "One moment." Jake, you hear that as well. And then finally, you come riding up Wherein. Do you say anything as you slow down to see him?
This is unusual. Usually we're summoning you.
In fact, you did summon me, as the two of you hear him say that.
I see.
Oh, this is going to get very confusing.
Well, I can't say I'm not pleased to see you, Momik, but can we keep this short?
I would prefer to keep it as short as possible. This is very difficult to do.
What's this about then?
He says, "One moment." All of you are hearing all of this, and then he looks to Jake, and he says, "So he looks to like you kind of like see him looking directly at you, Chosen of the Blade, whereas the other two kind of see him kind of like staring off for a second.
Well, he's behind me. I don't see a damn thing. I'm just listening to him.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, he says, "Exactly what is it you would like for me to inform them?" So you hear him randomly say that, like while looking past you. Yeah.
Tell them what I asked you. If just say to them that I have asked for a week
He
in the
nods.
city.
You all see him
Your
nodding.
protection will be gone
He looks at
for
you.
1 month.
He like blinks once again, looks over your shoulder, Jake, looks directly at you, Neil Rayron, and says, Chosen of the Blade has asked for me to open up the portals underneath Haude Gwenh and link them to the portals that you have inside Kurzfall. I have informed him that I'm willing to do this. However, it is very taxing, very exhausting for me to do it. It would come at a small cost. You have about 3 months protection left. A little under. It would cost you a month of that.
Seems rather useless connecting it to Kurzfall. We've got no soldiers there.
I believe you're misunderstanding the point. Again, you all here just hit his side. I believe you're misunderstanding the point. The Chosen of the Blade looks to ride north from where he currently is positioned rather than east. He wishes to appear in Haude Gwenh. Not only is the ride shorter for himself and those with him, but it would also give him an element of surprise.
Oh, if that means less death, then I think that is a good trade-off. That is my opinion. You can share it in less words.
Neil?
How many months of your protection do we have left?
He said 3.
Yeah. But so you asked that, and
We'd have 2 left.
Just under 2, yeah. He so you guys both say that, and everybody sees him hold up a hand for a second. He goes, "Sorry, I had to parse through that." Just under 2 months, yes. And he says just under 2 months, yes, to you, and then once again to Jake, he says, "I'll relay that for him, Chosen of the Hearth."
Are there any significant forces, external, internal, that you have been suppressing or fighting against? Surely your protection would identify something. It's not just like a little extra luck.
I don't think you'll have any concerns.
When the protection ends, will we still be able to speak with you, see you occasionally? Not summon you on every whim, but I'm rather fond of having your guidance.
I'll be about, I hope.
Me too. Very well, if one wishes this, then that's a good idea. At least the bastard won't die trying to scale a wall. Is that all?
It is.
Good day, Momik.
Oh, my doorbell rang. And as you said
We
good
heard
day,
it.
we go to a break. See you all soon.
Yeah.
Woo!